Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first bat rap of the channel between the attacking French, and this is an overall view of the battlefield, against the Brit, which are the defender in this casual scenario, sight into Peninsula 1809. The scenario is a breakthrough, is a custom scenario where the brigade officer have to push its brigade behind the center line of the table and grant victory point depending on how far into the enemy line they are. One victory point if they are within 6 inches from the middle line into the defender, 2 victory point if are more than 6 inches into the enemy half of the table, and 5 victory point if they are into deployment zone of the defender, which are 18 inches. And that is the scenario, simple, pretty and simple, and the defeat taken by the enemy are summed to the breakthrough obtained by the officer. Overall general doesn't count. And here we have the first brigade is made by 4 unit 3 line infantry unit without upgrade, 1 unit of Leger in front of the battle line, and a unit of downgraded Voltigeur, a unit of horse artillery with a single horse as a token for the draw piece, and 1 unit of detachment Voltigeur into the woods. Woods are all difficult ground and not defendable terrain, so the movement of the unit inside until they are not in order and grant cover. Behind them, 1 unit of grenadier, I use the mid-guard as per grenadier, and 1 unit of line lancer with the upgrade elite in melee and tenacity. The overall commander, a regular general without any marshal of the empire upgrade, 2 units of field artillery with their drawn horses, and the 2nd brigade, 3 in attack column, again the Leger in front of them, and outside the common distance from the officer, the squadron of chasseurs of the old guard, which elite melee and tenacity, and 1 unit of infantry detachment ready to cross the wood. And I'm moving to the defender. The 1st brigade, the 51st light infantry in front, 39, and the 40 back in line, and the Gordon Highlanders in the center to protect and try to make the counter-strike to hold the French at bay. They have both the upgrade as elite melee and tenacity, 1 unit of field artillery gun there, and the 95th rifle in front of the woods. They have elite tenacity. Outside again the command range is a unit of light dragoon. This one and the French counterpart need to take a roll of 2+ to be activated when the brigade is successfully activated, because they are outside their command range. But they have +2 because it's light cavalry, and so are the same for the forest chasseur. The overall commander beside the woods, ready to support where is needed, and in the 2nd brigade, again the Scots in the back as counter-strike unit, the Black Watch, and they also have upgrade elite and melee. The 1st Scots in front and the 60 rifle in front of them. The 91st 91st Light Infantry in front, and this 69 Line Infantry, they will struggle to exit this terrain due to the barricades and the fields, but they are to take cover of this side, and this artillery is barely inside the common distance to support this flank against the French down there. Now we are moving to the first turn to see what will happen. The first turn for the French is over. It's just maneuver turn. Everything's activated with success, so the chasseurs move forward, stay out from the distance, the charge distance from this cavalry and from the fire range of the muskets from the hill. This detachment also move forward. All the army take the double activation, so just on the verge of the middle. The central brigade is moved down there, and the first brigade did the same, retained the lancers in the field, ready to support both right or left of the deployment, and the grenadier in counter-strike reserves, while the brigade spread out on the right of the field, with the voltigeur and the légère in front of the main army. All of them stay more than 18 from the enemy, and so they can benefit from the double activation. Now is the turn of the Brit, which have probably nothing to shoot in the first turn, but they must hurry out to stop the incoming French and set for defense as their usual. Even the Brits are just moving to the first turn and take as quick as possible a reactive defense. The light company in open order has moved forward, luring the French. They are in range, so they have to decide if move in cohesion or start to firing at this, but they are still inside in their middle line, and the artillery has deployed after a movement. This 69th, I never remember, 69th Line Infantry has moved forward, ready to jump outside the next turn, and the rest of the brigade has moved forward, and the detachment occupy this wood, taking cover but be the closest enemy from most of the incoming fire. The left brigade has few difficult here because the center is strong, but they have a flank threatened by the cavalry. So the light dragoon move to lure the cavalry and be ready to eventually be strike back by this infantry. The Gordon Highlander move forward, and the 40 line has moved sideways to be in the middle of the suicide, deciding where is help is needed most, and the artillery is deployed. The commander is moved this side because probably is the side where the struggle start first. Brits are very strong in defense, but they need to be set on the table and using the terrain to be effectively good at this defense. Now we'll see what the French are deciding to do in the next turn. Second turn began, and Valor Fortitude opened the turn with fire. So this detachment have a line of sight against the dragoon, so it take 2 shots against them, hitting on a 4+, 1 casualty to the light dragoon. Then in the center, the light infantry, supported by the side column of attack shoot with their skirmishers, and then all the brigade will move on later. The artillery are in close range against the 6th Rifle in open order into the woods. At the moment I use this base for the open order, but soon I will rebase them, so they are open order, okay? They are in canister range, so 4 shots against them. And on the far side, the French decided to shoot only with the voltigeur, reduced battalion, and the rest of the brigade will advance steadily. So coming back to this fire, there are 2 dice, because 2 units, 1 shot with the skirmisher, and there are 2 dice allégère halves their attack. 4 attack became 2, plus 1 for the support of the column. They can support with skirmisher only if the main unit attack with a skirmisher, so 3 attack, hitting on a 4+, all miss, okay, so they essentially miss any hit. The artillery are 4 attack against the 60 rifle on a 5+, because they are in the woods and they hit 3 times, so it takes 3 casualty and is 1 more than their tenacity. So Valor test is coming here at the end of the phase, and on that side I say only the voltigeur shoot, and the rest of the brigade advance. 4 attack for the voltigeur and 1 to support from the artillery, horse artillery down there. You can see the gun, you can have line sight, you can hit, and because it's horse artillery, it can take an action after shooting, so it can still move even if they shoot in this moment. So 5 dice, hitting on a 4+. There are 2 hits, because it's a light infantry in open order, it halves its casualty, so it takes just 1 casualty. I'll be back in a moment with the casualty and the movement phase. All the French brigade is moving forward and take the attack disposition with 2 columns on the left and the right of a line, and still the légère in front of this, but ready to withdraw to let the brigade to charge in the next turn if everything's going according to the French plan. The center did the same with artillery, with shooting with success, and I'm back in a moment with the test for the poor 60 rifle, just withered at the moment. And on the far left, the chasseur of the guard charge into the light dragoon. Now we'll see. But first of all, 1 valor test for the 60 rifle, which has 1 more casualty than their tenacity. It passed on a 4+. It fails, so the unit is broken, and I have to take an immediate fortitude test for the officer of the brigade down there, the single lone officer in the middle of the road. Had to take a fortitude test at the end of the turn, but because I've just made this melee, I left the test out for a moment. Now the dragoon will made for attack on a 4+. The chasseur of the old guard have 5 attack because they have elite in melee. Both are light cavalry, so no special rule for them. I roll the dice. The Brits roll 2 hits, while the French roll 4 hits. And this is the result. So it is a French victory. They take 2 casualty, but it won. They take 4, which means there's 5 casualty taken. I put in a moment 2 more than their tenacity, so you have to take 2 tests for them. So I said 3 casualty and became weavered, 2 more, 2 valor tests on a 4+. Both are failed, no special card to play, so the Light Dragoon is destroyed, and this is a very, very dangerous situation for the left flank of the Brits, because they have a relative fresh cavalry into their flank and few things to counter it. Now, the 2 fortitude tests, one for this brigade here. They are more than 5, so is a test on a 3+, and the army leader, overall general, is within 12 inches from its officer, so is another +1, so it passed on a 2+, and it's failed. It's failed, so it's a defeat for this brigade. The other one is a simple 4+, and it passed, obviously. So I proceed to remove and move to the British second turn. British second turn begin. I'm sorry, but I made a huge mistake. They are in open order, so they halve the casualties, so not 3 but just 1. They are not broken, but their leader passed the test anyway, so nothing serious happened because I remember just in time. Second time for the Brits, they drew the card number 2. Previously they drew the Queen, which are defensive fire, which are good in melee, but not yet the situation. The number 2 are the tide of battle, meaning that the deck must be shuffled back. And for the French card, they has taken deadly, reroll all the mace in melee, and all-out attack. All the unit within 12 from the leader as +1 attack when they charge into melee will become an handy in a few minutes. And if you ask, yes, I'm playing a solo game today because, as I said in previous video, my friends has a very busy life, and so most of the time I have to play solo game. But I'm using and a kind of hey to run one of the side, in this case the Brit, the defender. It's pretty good. I'm still testing it. It's based on untravelable adjutant, but it's not bad. It needed some modification. Maybe I would told you in a video later, but essentially in few words, depending on the terrain and the enemy and the situation at the moment, advantage or disadvantage, they take some action in place of another and some decision in place of another, and usually it works well. Now at the moment I'm moving to the first turn for the Brits and the shooting phase where the Brits shine. So the fire will be this unit with its skirmisher, its flank company, will shoot here because it's the closest one, and then we'll try to put into square because the cavalry is a real threat at the moment. The light infantry here will shoot with the support of the gun into the Leger in front, and the 95th rifle will shoot into the column here. This squad with his skirmisher and this one with the skirmisher shoot at the voltigeur in the wood, and everything was released by this light infantry here with the support of the artillery, and that is the plan. Now moving to roll some dice. 1 dice from this unit to the voltigeur, which miss. This light infantry are 4 dice plus 1 for the artillery, 5 dice hitting on a 4+. are 3 hits. Because they are open order, it became 1.5, so 1 single casualty to the Leger. Now the 95th rifle into the column, 4 attack, hitting on a fire, rerolling 1 because they have no support from unit without this rule. And hit 1 2 times, so 2 casualty put on the column on the right. The first Scot with his skirmisher, because they want to move, and the 6th rifle into the voltigeur in open order, 5 plus, both hit, and again they have the casualty, so 1 hit to the voltigeur, and the other light infantry plus the artillery into the French Leger on the left are 2 hit. If I do not use the artillery, I could reroll this one, but I can use discipline musketry only if every unit has this rule, so I waste the 3 reroll. But that's it. Is 2 casualty became 1 for the open order to the light, to the Leger down there. And now moving to put the casualty and take the move activation. The breathtaking square on the side of the hill, shoot in the center, move the cavalry to treat the center of the French, and it could be the same situation but with counterpart with the dragoon, which can lure the lancers or be a real threat for the center line of infantry, but the lancer is not as good as the dragoon, so a charge from them could be result in a miserable defeat from the French. We will see in a moment. His artillery have to fire at the square as the closest visible to them, or probably the 6th, even with the cavalry. I have to measure the line of sight. On the right side is far better because the French is ready to assault, and now the shooting will be some shoot from the Leger in front and a general charge or advance, and the center I will shoot whatever I can, but probably, yes, the artillery have to shoot at the 6th or at the square, so it's pretty much the same. But I don't want to go into square by myself with this bloody dragoon. I want to push forward the center line. Now I will see, and on the right side I have to shoot just for this few voltigeur here. So now moving to the shooting phase. Moving to the shooting phase, a glimpse to the card I drew is less Grignard. One unit became better during the game, +1 melee, +1 tenacity. Is not the moment to use it. Now proceeding, this voltigeur here shoot to the Leger, 2 dice, hitting on a 4, both miss. The Leger in front shooting at their counterpart with a skirmisher and just 1 dice, which hit and put 1 casualty to the light in front here. And I need to measure down there. I'll back in a moment. Okay, I decided that this column will shoot with their skirmisher into cavalry to put a pulp shot, hoping to do at least 1 casualty. The artillery and the voltigeur down here at the closest target is the 6th in the woods, so they will shoot their canister and the support dice into them. And on the far side, the artillery have no other option than support here onto the 6th, so another dice, and then the Leger will release one shot with their skirmisher into the light infantry in front, and then proceed to the action. So, returning to the center, one pop shot against the cavalry on a 4+. No, they miss. And then the 2 artillery dice for the artillery, plus the support of both artillery, plus the voltigeur. 5 dice into the 6th, hit twice, so 1 casualty, and it became wavered. This time it is wavered, and now the pop shot from the skirmisher into the Leger in front, which miss. Okay, this is the end of the shooting. I proceed to the movement and to the rest of the charge and the melee. The French charge in with this column of attack and this line, because it's a inch closer, farther than the artillery, so it cannot charge it. In another case it must charge, but it cannot, so it can push into the light infantry battalion. The cavalry take its risk and charge the dragoon straight away, hoping for the best. This detachment is moving on, offering support, because the Lancers is from the same brigade here, and on this side 1 column must charge the artillery, 1 column charge into the light, supported by the infantry, with at the moment have no other target to charge, and the grenadier push forward to offer support to the column down there, and the voltigeur move in to support the other attack. And that's it. Now moving to roll some dice, but also playing some card. Into specific, I play the Ace of Spade, which are all out attack. All the unit within 12 inches from the overall leader take 1+1 attack, and I play down there, so the cavalry get 1 more attack, and compare the dragoon on 6 attack +1 for the support, and 1 attack to the line and 1 attack to the column, just 1 attack more, because they are both engaged in the same melee. And we'll see if I need more cards play. The Brits use its defensive fire, which grant him 1 more attack to units that are fighting infantry, but the best solution is to play on the far side, because if the French break on the right, they can envelope the center, and this will be a bad moment for the Brits. So the Leger down there have this card played in. So moving for the first roll of the dice. In the center, the 51st has usually 3 attack. In the first game I will show you some rules. Later on I will proceed quicker. 3 attack, which became 1 because they are in open order. They lose 1 of their attack, but they have 1 attack back for the supporting 3 inches of the Scots. So in total 3 attack. We have 4 attack for the column, +1 for the cards, +2 for the other unit engaged in melee, +1 for the brigade support. No reroll, because Elan grant a reroll of 1 for the unit attacking if every unit involved are in attack column, but they aren't. So 3+ without any reroll on the Brit side, 4+ rerolling 1 for the disciplined fire rule. Here we go. one miss for the French, a bad moment for the 51st. Freshly painted, paid the toll of the being freshly painted. 6 hit against 2. They put 2 wounds on the attack column of attack, but they take 6, which mean that they just won. They go to their cups of 4 tenacity and have 3 more casualty to take a test at the end of the phase. Now the center battle from both the cavalry. Dragoon has 6 attack, because they are heavy cavalry, so 6 attack, and if they can reroll the 1 to hit. The Dragoon usually have a 4, but they are elite. 5 plus 1 for the cards. Now plus 1 for the support, and the cavalry has plus 1 also for the support. So are 7 dice per part. No reroll for the French, hitting on a 3, hitting on a 4, rerolling 1 for the Dragoon. And here we go. Whoa, whoa, ooh, the French dice are hot today. They hit 7 times, while the Brits it's 5 times, but they still lose, and they lose badly again. They take 7 casualty and put 5 on the French. Their caps of tenacity is 4, so the Lancers are weavered. I put them in a moment, but they taken 7 casualty. Their caps is 4, so they have 3 more tests to made on a 4+. I move closer to the action. Here we have a column of attack and a line plus the support of the voltigeur. So again, 4 dice for the column of attack plus 2 for the line which support him, plus 1 for the voltigeur. 7 attack without reroll. The Brits again has the 2 attack as before, plus 1 for the cards, plus 1 for the support for attack in total. They are hitting on a 4+, rerolling 1. The French hitting on a 3, because none of the unit have casualty, but without reroll. This time the Brits hit 3 times, while the French barely inflict 4 casualty without the reroll. So they take 3 casualty on the column of attack, which are the unit which are pushing the attack in this moment, and the Brits take 4 of casualty, plus 1 they just had. They are wavered and have to take 1 single test. And now moving to the last one. Here we have the column of attack, 4 attack, plus 1 for the support of the grenadier in the back. This time both are in column of attack, they can reroll 1. The artillery are 2 dice and count 2 units when fight back, so 2 more dice. French hitting on a 3, rerolling 1. Brits hitting on a 4+. And this time the Brits are very unlucky. The French can reroll this 2, also miss. Just 2 hits on the artillery, which are wavered but not. I'm wrong. It's artillery. It lost a melee. It's automatically destroyed. So the artillery is gone, and now we have to take the test for the 91st light. 1 single test on a 4+, and it's failed, so it's gone. The cavalry in the center needed to take 3 tests on a 4+, and it's also gone. And the 51st light infantry, which are 3 tests on a 4+, and is also gone. A very bad turn for the Brits and a very successful one for the French, which are crushing the first line of defense. Now I proceed to remove the casualty and back for the Brits' turn. And now that the casualty has been removed, it's the time for the fortitude test. This brigade here has lost 1 unit, 2 units down there, the artillery, and its cavalry, 3 units, so 3 fortitude test, plus now is under 50% because they left only 3, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, it's not under the 50%, but he has to take 3 tests on a 4+. For every failure, it's a defeat to inflict to its commander. And it take 1 defeat. But this is not a good news, because every unit within 6 inches from an enemy take a casualty. 1 down here, 1 to the square, 1 for the Scots, and this one, which is weird, is also destroyed, but it not cause other test for this turn. So a huge blow to this side of the Brits deployment. And down here they have lost just a single unit into melee, and they are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is a test on a 3+, became 2+ for the overall commander. So I hope that it doesn't fail again. It does not. So no defeat on this side and 1 defeat on that side. Now the brigade will activate with more difficult, but especially the French have still both cavalry on the table and the Brits have not. Okay, this cavalry is quite gone, but anyway, that's it. As you can see, when the dice start to roll in, it's come a very quick game, because the casualty mount at an alarming speed. Now, back in a sec. Turn for the Brits. The cards is a 3, confusion. Is not so useful now. This is the no free activation next turn for the French. The overall plan for the turn: the square slightly move forward, try to protect the flank. The Scots will charge into the column, while the artillery push some fire into the line, and the 40 line infantry go down the hill and support the Scots. 95th Rifle and the square here try to break the cavalry with a fire. If this happens, the Scots will move in support of the left, and the left stay put and put fire into the damaged column. This is according to the decision of the IA. And now proceeding to some shooting. The first roll is the 3 dice for this battalion of line into the column. 2 hits and 1 reroll. 3 hits. This mean 4 casualty, and this bring 1 more than its wavering state. 2 more. They've taken 3. They've taken 3, so 2 tests for this column of attack, which became wavered by the fire of the infantry line. And here the square and support the 4 dice of the 95th, 5 dice into the cavalry, 4+, 4 hits. This means 4 tests for the cavalry, not enough casualty token. The canister of the artillery into the line, both hits, 2 casualty for the line infantry, and then the square cannot send its skirmisher out, so it retains its fire. So the fire is done, and now moving to proceed to the charges of the test before. So 4 tests for the cavalry. It's due to the fire, so it's a 3+ rather than 4. but is also failed twice. So the cavalry, French cavalry, is gone, and the 2 test for the column and is also gone. And this means 2 tests for that brigade. They are far, the commander is here, so it's far than 12 from the main general, so it's 2 tests on a 4+. And are both defeats, so 2 defeats, and this, as before, means casualty all around. Lucky for them, no one of this unit are withered, so they are gone. I proceed to put casualty and back in a moment with the activation for the breeds. A last thing happened in the turn. This squad taken 1 casualty because he's within 6 inches, became withered, and this ended the morale for the fire phase. Now I have to activate the breeds unit. 1 can be activated for free is this one, because the overall general is here, and so there is no point in make anything else. Back in a moment at the end of the activation. Both units are activated, both brigades activated, so the plan go straightforward as predicted. The Scots move slightly on the left to support this unit, which will receive punishment soon enough, I fear. The center is still held by this square, and the situation is less grim than a second ago. And on the right, the center right, the Scots charge, as the EA suggests, with good possibility to win the melee. And indeed they are 4 dice, because our breeds line infantry, elite melee, in line, plus the brigade support. They roll 7 dice on a tree, re-rolling 1. The line will roll 4 dice because it's French, and 1 is because it's in line, and 1 for the close support without re-roll. It hit on a 4+. So here we go, the rolling. We're rolling 1, so the Scots push harder into the French line. 6 hit. The French managed to strike only 2 of them, so they use the card, the 6 card, deadly, which means I can reroll all the misses, and they put 2 more. It's not enough to win, but he put 4 casualty into the Scots. It could be important later, but it takes a lot of casualty. It take 6 casualty, and just 2 of them, so 2 more to become withered, and the remaining 4 casualty are tests at the end of this phase. So now they have to take 4 tests on a 4+ to stay in place, and they fail 2 of them, so the battalion rout, and I have to take a brigade test. They are still more than 5, and they are within 12 inches for the overlord leader, so a 2+, and it passed. No defeat for this French brigade down here. Now I remove the casualty and start the French turn. The start of the first turn, this is the overall situation. The French is slightly beside the center line, and the Brits hold. It has a good turn after a bad one. They routed 3 units, the cavalry in the center, 1 column of attack on the right, and 1 line of infantry, line infantry on the center left. Now the turn, the cards for the French are the Queen of Spade, which are an attack of trance. So it means that 1 brigade, as every unit in that brigade that start a melee and charge, get +1 if they are in attack column. Okay, and in the fate phase I want to play less grognard on this unit here, which mean they go veteran essentially, melee and elite +1. Now moving to the shooting, and the shooting will pretty easy. This one will shoot into the square, the Leger will shoot into the Scots in the center, and the artillery will shoot into the square, and here everything that can, so essentially the Voltigeur will shoot here with the support of the Leger probably, and then we'll proceed with the charges. And that's it. Moving to the roll some dice, starting here are 4 dice for the Leger +1 to support from the Voltigeur and Leger, essentially 4 plus are 3 hits, no reroll because they are French. They take 3 hits and became withered, and is a good news for French here. They are shooting into the square. They are far than 12 inches. Let me double check the distance. First, the Scots are within 12 inches from the artillery, so we take 2 dice for the canister plus 1 for the support and 1 because it is in square, and so 4 hits, 4 dice hitting on 4 plus, 3 hits, and the square is also withered, so they are also withered. And down here, the last few shots into the square, we have 2 shots from the Voltigeur, 1 hit, 1 casualty, and the Leger halves their shooting range because they are in column, so 2 dice hitting on a 4 plus, and 1 hit into the Scots, which also became withered, so they are withered, and this square take 1 casualty. And now moving to the movement phase. With the confusion played by the Brits, this brigade managed to successfully charge in with this column of attack into the withered Scots. The Leger offers support. The cavalry has encircled the square and treat the rear of the Brits in this side. This brigade failed to activate, so I spend my cards to activate 1 single battalion, and this column of attack can see the flank and not the front of this line infantry, and it's too juicy occasion to waste it and wait that maybe they can recover for withered, so I spend it. I decided to take the chance of a flank attack into the line. So starting with this battalion, it's 4 attack plus 1 because it's flanking. The line are 4 dice, but they halve because they are flanked, and they take back because they are lined. The Brits hit on a 5 plus, rerolling 1, and the French hitting on a 4 plus, rerolling 1. Rerolling 1, rerolling 1. So 1 hit for the Brits and 3 hits for the French. Is a French victory. That means 3 tests for the battalion, which I can take at the moment because there are no other melee. So 3, 4 plus. Oof, maybe some the result. They break. They are gone, and with they are gone, another test for the brigade must be taken, and at the moment they are under the 50%, always only 2 units left. I will see at the end of the melee. Now here the Scots 4, 5 for the vets, 5, 6 for the line, 7 for the support, but they hit on a 5 plus, 4 to the column of attack, +1 for the support, hitting on a 4, rerolling 1. So we'll see, it's not so easy. Le Grognard, freshly promoted to veteran, one more dice, sorry. We'll see the result of the melee. Here we go, rerolling 1, discard this one and this one and this. No one for the Brits, just 1 hit for the Brits and 4 for the French. So 1 casualty taken by the column of attack and 4 test on a 4+ for the Scots, which failed 2 times, so they are gone. And now 1 fortitude test to this leader here, which is within 12 inches, so is on a 2+, because there are still 5 units. Let me count: 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's a 4+. Became 3 for the leader, it's pass, and a 3+ for this one. A +1 -1, it's a 4+. And there's another failure, and this is a very bad news, because the square also routed, and they take another defeat and lose another infantry back after removing the casualty for the French turn 4. The overall situation for the Brits looks very, very grim, because not only they can hardly stop the French officer to move forward again, but the left side is completely collapsed. Just this Scots can hold the tide of an entire brigade of French, and the center and the right of the Brits is in danger, especially because French line troops is not so bittered, and the cavalry trade the rear, so probably there is no way to avoid defeat. But I decided to play until 4:30, so I've got at least another couple of turns, 1 for the Brit, 2 for the Brits and 1 for the French, if the Brits will survive to another French turn. We will see now. 4th turn, again a 2, again no cards for the Brits. Is not a very good day for them. Forced to reshuffle the discarded used card into the deck, and for this turn no spicy card are used. Back in a moment with the shooting. The overall plan is that square shoot at the cavalry, and the line hold their fire to charge. Artillery and 95th Rifle will shoot at the line infantry, and the Scots reposition themselves to try to hold the tide, but probably reinforce the center and push at least one of the French officer outside their zone, counting on the difficulty to activate the brigade due to the defeat taken by the French general. The overall general is far away, and at least for another turn they have to roll the die, and maybe another one will be rolled, sorry. Back in a moment. According to the decision of the IA, this side will hold their position and cannot charge, so they add their fire into the Leger, because the rest of the brigade has just fired in the column. 3 dice, 2 hits, not enough to waver, but to put some casualty. Both on the unit are 1 casualty from their caps, and that's it. Essentially the movement is done. The unit down here have a shoot, put some smoke in front of their muskets, and that's it. The end of the Brits' turn. Not a very enthusiastic one, but what can be do with so reduced forces? Now it's the French fifth and the last turn of the game. We'll see. The overall plan is an all-in charge where is possible, and to move forward the far side, which now have free terrain to gain as much point as possible. The card for French is a 9, surprise attack. One unit can make a move and then declare a charge. So we'll see if this could be very interesting. And now proceeding to the shooting. The overall plan is the same as before. The detachment shoot at the square. Both column hold their fire. Even the column in the center hold their fire. The cannon and the detachment will shoot at the Scots down here. They are the closest one. No shooting here, try to move. So the artillery is more than 12 inches from the Scots, so 2 dice plus 1 for the detachment. 1 hit, 1 more casualty to the Scots, and the detachment down there into the square on 4 plus, both hit, 2 casualty to the square, which is also on the verge to become withered. No casualty on this line, but now it's the activation. Back in a moment before any melee. The brigade successfully activate in a 3 plus. The generals move into the deployment to grab 5 victory points, but the grenadier spend the surprise attack for take 1 free move before declare a charge. They overtaken their comrades and then charge into the Scots with the support of this battalion here. And on this side, the cavalry charge into the rear, column of the Legere charge into the front, and 1 unit of line infantry in attack column charge the cannon. And now, starting here, the cavalry will fight and the Legere will support. So are 5 attacks for the cavalry, plus 2 for the support, plus 1 because they flank the enemy, which fight back with half of their dice. They are 4 dice, half because they are flank and cannot see the enemy, and 1 back because it's infantry, and 1 for the support for the square. Cavalry hit on a 4 plus without reroll. The Brits hit on a 4 plus with reroll of 1. Here we go. Ooh, whoa! It's tremendous. Not just a single hit on a 7 dice, and the Brits scored 2, so he managed to win the fight and put a casualty onto the cavalry and survive. Because if they lost the battle, they automatically rout due to the cavalry, which have not to test but have to fall back. And that's it. Wow, the 40 line infantry proved themselves one more time repel an almost impossible task to win. Moving to the artillery, a column of attack, 4 attack plus 1 for the brigade bonus, and 4 attack for the artillery, 2 and plus 2. So the brigade all hitting on a 4 plus, the French can roll the 1. 3 miss for the French, 2 miss for the Brits, 2 hit per side, but the attacker win, so the artillery is gone and the column is withered. The artillery is broken and is taken down by the column of attack. And here the probably most important fight to see if we have another turn or not. 5 attack for the French, +1 because they are regimental support, and in this case they hit on a 4 rolling 1. The Brits are 4 for the Brits, line and vets. All of them reroll 1. They are 6 attacks against 6 attacks on a 4+. Or I can drop the dice and take the 3 rerolling 1. Yes, I take the reroll. So hitting on a 3 rerolling 1 for the French, hitting on a 4 rerolling 1 for the Brits. And obviously the only miss is a 2, and the Brits take 4 casualty per side, but the French are the attackers, so the French win. 4 casualty is not enough. Oh yes, it's enough to Weaver and take 1 test for the Scots. 1 test for the Scots on a 4+. He pass, they stay, so we take out the extra casualty. They stay, and now it's the last turn for the Brits, and the French grant for the victory too early because the Brits is still into the fight, and we will see back in a moment what the last turn for the Brits will bring to them. And now the last 2 melee of the game. The situation has changed by the fire of the 95th Rifle, which made a disaster to the morale of the French. We lose 1 unit for the fire, 1 unit for the result of the defeat, and they broke and they take a casualty and became weird. Now the Brits, which in the previous turn take 2 casualty. No, just 1 casualty, are fairly in good position to win and broke more French of this brigade. Now, we'll see the 40 line infantry, 4 attack, 5 for the line, and another 1 for the support. The French are 4 attack, and I don't know if, yes, they are into 2 inches. Take the dice because both are exhausted, so are 5 against 6. The Brits hit on a 4 and the French hit on a 5, both repeating 1. So the Brits can repeat 1 and inflict 4 casualty to the Leger, and the Leger hit none. I rolled 1 dice more than the legal because Leger have 1 less die in melee than regular line infantry, but anyway it caused no casualty, but have to take 4 tests on a 4+, and I roll right now and they failed both, and so this unit's broke and this unit's also broke if I fail the test. The test is on a 3+ now. Okay, it's pass. No defeat, but another French unit destroyed. The Leger is broken. The last fight of the game here. The Scots 4, 5, 6 dice again, 4 and 5, and now I take the support because I take in casualty. I have no hit on a 3+ more. So on a 4 the French, on a 5 the Brits, both reroll once. Wow, the French score 4 hits. 4 hits. The French score 2. The Brits score only 2. So this time are the Scots that have to take 4 valor tests, and they failed 2 and they broke. So another fortitude test on a 3+, +1 to this the presence of the overall commander, but -1 because he's the last unit of the brigade, so it's not necessary the test. The brigade is shattered and its defeat is going to the commander plus 1 to the shattering brigade. And that's it for the game. Back in a moment to count the point, but it's a pretty clear French victory. And this is the result of the game as a crushing victory for the French. 4 defeats inflicted to the British, 3 inflicted to the French, but the French score 6 plus 4 defeat, so mean 10 points, and just 3 for the Brits. So 10-3 for the French. We managed to push into the enemy line and exploit the breakthrough. And that's it for this game. It's a very fun one. 2 hours game. I hope that you enjoy. I will make shorter video in the next one, but for the very first one I want to explain some rules and roll some dice into the camera to show you how the games works. But for the next one I will reduce the time and reduce the number of action film, just maybe recap and roll very critical dice such as melee or something else. All in all, it was a very good fun. I hope that you enjoy it the same. If you like this game and you like the content of the channel, please subscribe and please push the like button. And that's all for this week. It's 3 weeks video because it's the start of the channel. Now I will try to upload 1 video at week, or at least every 2 weeks, with more content, more tactics and some butt rap. Thank you for watching. I see you soon as possible. For now, bye bye and vive l'Empereur.